Welcome to Make Possible Bitesize, a weekly podcast brought to you by Permutive, championing change in publishing, advertising, and beyond. Each episode, we chat to an inspiring guest about their careers, their lives, and how they're making change possible. Let's bite right in.
I'm Rico Rosa, Customer Success Manager at Permutive. Welcome to a special edition of Make Possible Bitesize. In celebration of Black History Month, we're shining a light on inspiring Black professionals and asking questions about their journeys to success and how they've made it possible. Today on the show, I'm joined by an old friend and former colleague, Jessy Jacques. She's an Ads Partnerships Manager at LinkedIn. What's up, Jessy?
Hey, Rico. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for joining me for this episode. Now, how about we start with a quick intro on who you are and what you do over at LinkedIn?
Of course. My name is Jessy Jacques, as you so lovely introduced me, and I am an Ads Partnership Manager at LinkedIn. I essentially help ad tech partners build and grow successful businesses with LinkedIn through API integration and help them build out their strategic go-to-market strategy.
Nice. Well, thank you for that. So let's kick off with our first Make Possible question. Now, you've worked for companies such as AOL, which, I was also there and part of, so thank you for the time. And that's evolved into Verizon Media. You've also worked with Xandr, and you do ongoing work with AdColor, and now you're at LinkedIn. Talk about a stacked resume. Man, how important has cultural identity been to your career so far, and how have you maintained this?
Yeah, so for me, cultural identity has always been incredibly important. It's a feeling of belonging to a group, a set of people, whether it be based on your ethnicity, your nationality, traditions, beliefs, music, and art. For me, as a Black woman born in America with Jamaican roots, those things are important to my culture identity. But so is being from Brooklyn, New York, the best borough. So those have been incredibly important as how I've seen myself and I've grown. Now, in my career, it's been incredibly important to maintain this. I will say at AOL, I began to take up space and began presenting myself more of who I am to my colleagues. I began participating in D&I initiatives, eventually becoming one of the leads for the Women's Network, as you know. I will say that I did have some incredible support from my team, especially my manager, who encouraged me to take up more space, to lean into who I am and to have a voice. For 4 years, I was able to do that there, and it helped me build up my confidence. And by building that confidence, maintaining my cultural identity and knowing how important it was, I kept the same energy and I went to Xandr. I did the same thing. I'm also still the AdColor Chief of Staff for the AAB team. And now I'm at LinkedIn where I'm doing the same. And I've been blessed with another supportive team and another incredibly phenomenal manager who has helped to push me to own my initiatives and own my space and my identity here at the organization.
That's amazing. And I can also give you credit for really being an example for bringing your whole self to work and, never really holding back who you really are. And like that culture really is always shine through. So moving on to the next question here, and it's a two-part. The first one here is, what challenges are you most proud of to have overcome as a manager who is also a Black woman? And what are some challenges you feel that have yet to be addressed for Black women within corporate work environments?
Yeah, so my biggest challenge as being a Black woman within the space that I overcame, that I'm still kind of overcoming, is being a Black woman within the space. I will say, I'll give you a quick glimpse into my journey. In 2014, was I left the organization due to downsizing, and I was looking to join tech. And it was incredibly difficult to get into tech, despite having years of marketing and administrative experience. I also had, a bachelor's degree, and I was getting my master's. And no one would hire me. And the reason would be that I didn't have the experience they were looking for, even for junior roles or entry level roles, or that there was just not an opportunity. What I did is that I actually saw that there was a fellowship open at AOL, and I interviewed there twice before. And I applied for the fellowship, a part of the advertising.com team, and I was hired on the spot. I was hired on the spot as a fellow, and within 2 months, I got a job offer. So I started October as a fellow, and by December, I was a part of the team, the marketplace team, as an account manager doing operations and sales. And joining as a fellow / intern isn't ideal for everyone, especially when they're in their 20s, like I was, when I was, looking for something with insurance and benefits, and it was something that can be it can bring you down just considering it, but I knew I had what it took. I knew that I can get the job done and outperform anyone in my way. And I locked it down within 2 months, and I was there for 4 years due to the incredible amount of support I got from my team, what I learned there. And, it's such challenging being a woman of color, being a person of color, or being a Black woman. And I think that's something that the corporate world, the tech world, the sales world still needs to work on, is also microaggressions that Black women face. I've dealt with things where people touched my hair without permission. They touched my shoulders without permission. And when I expressed why it's important not to place your hand on a Black woman's hair, it was more so the response, well, why not? What's the big deal? And I think that some training and some conversations really need to be held and addressed on why that's considered microaggression, and why you shouldn't call a Black woman aggressive, and why you shouldn't call them angry as compared to their white counterparts. So these are things that still need to be addressed. They've gotten better, but it's still room for more improvements.
Agreed. I mean, really, thank you so much for that feedback. I mean, I think everyone can really take a lot away from what you just said, and definitely we can all do a better job of locking it down. So great. I want to bring us to our final question for today's Bite Size Show, and it's: what advice would you give to others wanting to make possible a success like yours?
That's an interesting question. There's a quote I've heard recently: "You'll only regret the risk you don't take." And it definitely correlates to how I've tried to live my life, especially building my career. I've always aimed high, because the worst thing anyone can ever tell you is no. My advice would be the same for anyone. Take chances, be bold, take up space, and always be kind to yourself. Not everything will be a yes immediately. There'll be a no. There will be no's. Turn that no into a maybe or we'll see, and then you turn that into a hell yes. There's no perfect outline for success, because what may look like success for me isn't the same for you or anyone else. And another thing I would give to a person looking to build out their career and be successful is something I wish I learned early on, is to look for a mentor or executive sponsor, whether they be there internally or external. This is incredibly important. A mentor can help guide you in your career and through other things, especially financially, while executive sponsor can help promote you as a person, promote you as a colleague, promote you as an employee, and help you build out your brand and that network you need. These are things, like I said, I wish I knew early on, and I hope that these advice that I'm giving out, people can take them to heart and run with them, because it's something that's important that we all should be capitalizing off.
Wonderful. I want to, I guess, add another question because I think it's really going to give the audience, a little more direction. I guess,
Mhm.
especially for those, like us, persons of colors, and in a corporate environment. How would you go about identifying that mentor internally or externally? Like, what more can we do to sort of, extend, our hand to being able to identify someone that can propel us into, making things more possible and achieving more success?
Yeah. So one of the easiest ways I would say is to join a DNI group or join any other group that's within your organization, because that's when you'll be able to identify allies. If an ally is a part of the women's network, a part of the parents network, is a part of the Black inclusion groups, or part of some sort of gay alliance, you'll be able to identify a leader within that organization, within that breakout group, and lean on them. That's one way to join. Another way to look for a mentor, executive sponsor, is reaching out. Look on LinkedIn. Now, this is me promoting my organization, but look on LinkedIn to see what your colleagues, what groups they're a part of as well. Look at the connections they have. Like I said, it doesn't have to be someone internal or external, but there are so many other opportunities. For instance, in 2019, I applied for the Adweek mentorship program, executive mentorship program. And it was an incredible list of CMOs from Facebook, Google, Adweek itself, who offer their assistance, their guidance, and their words of encouragement to a selective few individuals. I was a part of that group that was selected, and I was actually paired with Jacques, who is the CEO of Adweek. And it was probably the most incredible experience I ever had with a mentor. He has continued to be someone I lean on and lean into, that we have these conversations. And this is something I did and found through LinkedIn by looking at my network and what my network was leaning into. And this is just an example of different opportunities and ways where you can find that mentor and executive sponsor. And this is not to say that you should just ping someone and say, "Can you sponsor me and mentor me?" Make sure you're having the conversation, you're introducing yourself, and you're making yourself available to feedback. You're actually being honest and upfront about what you're looking for and what you want and how you measure success. I've always tried to do that with anyone I spoke to, whether has been a mentor or executive sponsor, and that's really important in order to build relationships and go towards the goal you want.
Nice. I mean, talk about some free game right there. That's a great way to end it. So, I mean, Jessy, thanks so much for being part of today's episode. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure, Rico.
Great. Well, awesome. That leaves me with thanking all the listeners and viewers for tuning into this special episode of Big Possible Bite Size. Join us next week with another inspiring guest